Hello, I'm Jim and welcome to the 312 Workshop. On today's show, we're going to make some push blocks for my table saw and my joiner. As you can see, I've already done some basic prep work with the material. Trimmed down some poplar, glued up some pieces, put the template on. Some of you might recognize that. We'll talk about that later. Also milled up a rather large piece for the block itself. This is going to have to be rebuilt soon. It's a little tipply, as you can see, but for what I need it to do right now, it's not that big of a deal. I'm just trying to cut the extra off where I can so that I can fit it in my drill press to drill the holes needed to cut the inside. Echo, window fan on.
Okay.
And I must say, this design is not mine. Craftsrite.com. I'm pretty sure they're still free. I like the angle, I like the handle of them, and honestly, I like the look. So check out Craftsrite. He's got a video channel, and he also has a website. As I did for my other blanks, I'm going to center punch the locations for the 4 holes that I need to drill. I've got one of these spring type center punches. Set it on the X, hold the bottom, and pop. Now, over here at the drill press, we're about to drill some holes. Anyway, you will need a 1/2 inch and a 1 3/4 inch portion of it. Will be Okay, now that I've got holes drilled, we're going to diverge a little bit. Since I don't necessarily want something quite that high as a handle on a block for my joiner, I'm going to connect and cut the bottom of this off so it's a little bit lower. I think what we'll do is we will join the bottom of the 1/2 inch hole to the bottom of the rearmost 1 3/4 hole. So as you can see, this will be trimmed, and I think that will set nicer on the block itself. Also going to kind of nip and square off these ends. We'll see what we can do here. It won't be perfect, but it's push block. It doesn't have to be perfect. Anyway, now to the bandsaw. Now, someone will inevitably ask, if I was just going to cut this in half, why did I drill the holes? Well, to paraphrase Peanuts, Charlie Brown specifically, I got a little carried away with the drill press. See, I was batching out 7 of these at once. It'll be nice to have these built. It'll make an operation like this safer. Okay, we've rounded the edges, done a little sanding. I might do a little more just to ease some of the corners. Here are the push blocks themselves. They're about the right width, close. They're 5 1/4. I'm going to take them down to 4 3/4. They are 12. Actually worked out to 12 1/4. I'm happy with that length for the size handle that I'm dealing with. I'll round the corners. I'll sand the corners off. I'll round them off and probably just ease the top. Won't necessarily ease the bottom. I got to find what is the smoothest. Both of these have knots, so I think they're going to be the top. We're not going for fashion, as it were. I want this to be as smooth as possible, so I can adhere some non-skid material to it. Here, I'm going to nibble out a dado on the top that'll be just wide enough to fit the handle. I've used a piece of scrap 3/8 of an inch thick and glued it to the back of the blank. This kicks it out, and I'm able to run it down the length of the rip fence and puts the dado at approximately a 10-degree angle. And now I'll just use my little sanding pad to break the edges. I've picked up some shelf liner at the local dollar store, and it should work pretty good for what I'm using it for. I am basically going to glue it and trim it. I'm probably going to use Super 77 since I have such a hard time getting the paper off the other push blocks that I made. Always like to make sure the dust is off before you haul off and apply this. A little round spot there. And that should, oh yeah, that should work pretty decent. I guess. There. I'm not trying to make these sellable by any chance. It's just I need something now that I've got my joiner up and running. I need something that's safer than doing it with my hands across the joiner. That's all. A little dab of glue and some clamp, and I think we'll be fine. I want to make them as close to the same as possible. A little bit there, a little bit there. Yep. Anyway, let them dry overnight, and I'll be ready to use them in the morning. And they're decent. They're, not perfect, but I'm totally happy. Yeah, very much so. Well, this has been Jim at the 312 Workshop. You have yourself a great day. Bye now.